Troy, what did you like the most about Ben's performance tonight? What stood out to you the most about his performance?
Attack. Just like really, really aggressive attacking, controlling, fast to slow, slow to fast, slow to really, really fast, like playing his gears. And so much of what we're trying to do with him is when he plays that way, not let people bump him off his line and, take stuff that doesn't equal dunks or free throws. And I thought that his downhill mentality, that you hear me talk about it, body, ball, that extra long step, bringing his shoulder around so he can come to the rim instead of away from the rim. I like that in his mindset, in the way that he played a lot.
When you don't have Joel, do you automatically say to yourself, I'm going to post Ben X number more times?
A little bit, D. Where my head really goes is we're playing fast. Like, just in general, like, that's immediately where we go. It is true that, you feel you want to try to find places for him, and there's more post opportunities without Joel. This is true. But in general, my mindset is more, we'll play fast.
Mike Scott hadn't started till now. You like to bring him off the bench for energy. How about your thoughts on that? And it looked like it obviously was a good move.
Just to try to find something to jumpstart him. He has been down. We need him to be up. And I just had a gut feel like, maybe this is a way we can jumpstart him. And because everybody goes through, droughts when you're a shooter. We've seen it with the best of them. And as I reminded him, he experienced something similar in his Clipper life earlier. And water seeks its level. It'll rise up. It'll end up being what you should be as a shooter most times. And at some point, it starts to balance out. And tonight I thought that he was really aggressive. And I was happy for him because he's good people, and he certainly puts in time and cares.
It's an interesting weekend. It'll turn tomorrow when you play the Raptors. Do you still get worked up about it, playing the defending champions?
I do. To dust it off and say it's another game, I will not say that at all. It would be very disingenuous. Like our history, recent history with them, you remember? And it's true, they are the NBA champs. The game that we lost in Toronto, doesn't go away quickly. And so, we're going to figure out at what level of strength we will be at. And it's true, they are sitting somewhere in Philadelphia in a hotel room, waiting to come in and play us. I do think that because of the margin that we were able to establish, the minutes won't impact tomorrow. Nobody really played big minutes. But for sure, I know who we're playing tomorrow.
Brett, when Ben has these downhill attacking games, do you guys have any inclination that it's going to be that way before the game? Is there any difference in his demeanor or anything like that?
No. For me, there isn't. Maybe I got to be more perceptive, but for me, there isn't. I think that when you get into some of the bigger teams that have a different front line and, more probably size and, not just Tristan, then it's challenging. I think when you play some of the smaller teams, it's probably not as congested or punishing, like if you get in there and make some wrong decisions. I love the fact as a team led by him, we had 43 assists and 8 turnovers. That usually doesn't equal a ratty game, which it ended up. Usually ratty games equal ratty stats, and that looked like a pretty efficient stat line from everybody, and certainly from him. His attack, downhill mode, mentality, I think some of it's for the reasons that I just said, or it stands out more for the reasons I said.
I think those lineups with him and Horford and no Joe have been really good offensively.
Yeah.
If you look at the numbers there, is that just pace, or what's the formula there?
I think go back to when we all met. It's pace and space. It's like Al Horford's got the ability to stretch a floor, and Ben's got the ability to play with speed. Pace and space. I think that if to take a deeper dive and look further, I bet you're not going to find much more than that. Like the pieces within that world thrive. And it's true what you say, Rich. It has been a good group for us.
Right. Along with the attack of Ben comes those 12 free throw attempts.
Yeah.
And on the season, it's less than 4 that he gets.
Yeah.
What's a reasonable
8.
number you could ask him to do? Right.
I want 1 3-point shot. This is what I want. Okay, you can pass this along to his agent, his family, and his friends, and to him. I want a 3-point shot a game minimum. The pull-up twos, I'm fine with whatever he's open, but it's like I'm interested in the 3-point shot. And the mentality that he has where he's turning corners and taking that long step, that gather step, and bringing his shoulders to the rim and trying to dunk or finish tight will equal higher efficiency or getting fouled. That's the world that interests me the most, those two things. And when you say, okay, what's the number? I immediately throw out 8. Like, for whatever reason, I'm not sure, but that's a number that I think is attainable.
Is the three-pointer still
Two more
overblown?
guys.
Pardon me?
Is it still overblown, you think, in your mind, the three-point shot?
I think the drama of it is overblown. The reality that he can shoot, and ultimately it's going to need to come into his game in a more pronounced way, just from an attempt standpoint, that's not overblown. I think the drama surrounding it is completely overblown. When I just put on my coaching hat and I'm looking at a 23-year-old young man trying to grow his game, it's completely, first, in his wheelhouse, and secondly, he will be liberated. His world will open up, and I think in many ways so will ours.
I'm just curious, does he
Last
know
one, guys.
that 1-3 a game would?
We talk all the time on the sidelines, and to share it with a room, everybody would be bored. You can speak to, and some of it's true. Like some of it, he just wants to play. He doesn't want to be treated differently. He just wants to play. And so, I walk that line respectfully of the world that he lives in, and I understand it. I, too, don't want to over-dramatize this thing. And so it's a hard ecosystem to navigate, trying to draw plays or encourage him. And it's like he sees something different in the play, and the game didn't dictate it, so he doesn't want to be a part of it. And I actually respect that. And somewhere in the middle, we hope we end up in a place that I hope trends more prominently than it has. Thank you.